I'm always up for looking at OLED monitors here on Denki, and among the newest ones to hit the market is this, the InZone M10S from Sony, and it is aimed directly at those looking to spice up their PC gaming experience. And while I think it achieves this somewhat well in a vacuum, using it here in the real world for a few weeks has left me scratching my head more than I'd like. Let's talk about it. The M10S is the latest monitor from Sony's InZone gaming brand, and while it's not under PlayStation, it does play nice with the PS5, but really, this monitor is aimed at more serious professional players on the PC side. This guy has a 27-inch WOLED panel with a 1440p resolution, 0.03 millisecond response time, and most importantly, an absolutely insane 480 Hz refresh rate. Now, on paper, this might seem like a competitive gamer's dream come true, which on one hand is partly a good thing, but on the other, But first, some context. I've been around the block a few times when it comes to gaming on OLED monitors, testing both WOLEDs and QD OLEDs from brands such as LG, Samsung, MSI, Corsair, and generally speaking, these are my favorite types of displays over LCD because of how they reproduce contrast, color, and motion, especially when it comes to watching content and playing games. So with that said, I have a pretty good idea of what to expect out of OLED monitors, and using the M10S for a few weeks, I can say that for the most part, it is impressive for what it is. All of the basic OLED goodness is here, from the excellent contrast ratio and deep blacks that are truly black, down to the colors that practically pop off the screen. But really, what Sony is targeting with this monitor is how it handles motion. The M10S really thrives while playing first-person shooters such as Valorant or Counter-Strike 2. The 480 Hz refresh rate combined with OLED's near instantaneous response time means your inputs will feel slightly snappier even compared to 240 Hz. Now, I say all of this, but keep in mind that just like with any piece of gear that's aimed at pros, I think these specs definitely pass a certain threshold of diminishing return, where most people, including myself, would hardly be able to appreciate the competitive edge that something like this offers. But even still, that shouldn't take away from the fact that the tech inside of this monitor is super impressive. On that note, while there is a Sony InZone badge on this monitor, LG actually manufactures the OLED panel in here. But outside of the screen, Sony's presentation is noteworthy on the M10S, especially if you're someone that's looking to use this competitively or take it to events. For example, included with this package is a clever stand with markings so that you can keep track of your monitor height and angle. This might seem like a small thing, but when you are constantly adjusting for different games or scenarios, it's actually pretty handy. The base of the stand's also pretty nice. It's low profile and surprisingly stable for the way it looks, but most importantly, it makes it easy to place your mouse, keyboard, and other peripherals without feeling cramped. Plus, I really love the super simple aesthetic of this whole thing. For a gaming-focused product, there's nothing showy about it. We're talking clean bezels on the monitor itself, no crazy RGB or sharp angles around the back. Honestly, more brands should take notice. And then on the software side, InZone has their Hub software, which allows you to adjust settings for the monitor on your PC without having to fiddle around with the OSD controls on the back. Plus, there's also a mode that will let you mimic a 24-inch display, which is standardized more for tournament play. Put this all together, it's pretty clear to me that Sony put a lot of time and effort into considering what competitive gamers might be looking for in a monitor. Though, I wish they actually put more consideration into literally what every other type of gamer might want. Which brings me to my gripes about the InZone M10S, and I guess the sort of approach with this brand. Firstly, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Price. Sony is marketing this product toward professional gamers, and so naturally they gave it a pro price. The M10S retails for $1,100 here in the US. And trust me, I am right there with you, viewer. That is a lot of money, even in the scheme of enthusiast shopping with deep pockets. To put that in perspective, ASUS, under the ROG brand, just released their counterpart to this monitor using the same WOLED panel sourced from LG with identical specs and all, but that retails for $100 less. Not only that, but Sony drops the ball when it comes to their long-term warranty commitments, where ASUS comes in with a 3-year warranty, especially important since OLEDs are more prone to long-term wear and tear issues such as burn-in. But for some reason, Sony is only committing to servicing their OLEDs for free within the first year. Now, even considering ASUS's spotty track record for warranty service in the past, I at least hear that the monitor service isn't so bad. But this is the kind of stuff you need to think about when you start spending 10 or more Benjamins on a freaking gaming monitor. Okay, but let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And I gotta wonder why Sony is targeting a very specific niche with the M10s. It clearly excels at being an FPS beast, but for what is essentially their flagship monitor, I think they could have done better to broaden its appeal and add value for the price of admission. Don't get me wrong, again, I'm all about this clean, minimalistic design. It is probably one of the sleekest monitors I've ever seen, and it is probably up there with some of the best 1440p monitors I've ever tried. But at that $1,100 price point, I can't help but to feel like this could have been much more of an all-rounder. It falls a bit short as a daily driver. Objects with fine lines, such as text, appear a bit soft, which is a common issue of 1440p OLEDs in general. But again, when you're spending $1,100 on a monitor, you'd expect it to handle everyday tasks better. Which brings me to my main point of confusion. Why is Sony targeting such a niche audience with their flagship product when, especially in 2024, the OLED market has exploded with options that cater to a broader range of users? Take, for example, this, the 32-inch 4K 240Hz Ultra Gear from LG. Now, full disclosure, LG did sponsor a piece on the channel a couple of months back to feature that display, though they have no say in what I mention in this video. But I do think that that product is a way better value for the money compared to the M10s for most people when it comes to everyday use. That guy does have an MSRP of $1,400, but is regularly available for $1,000, and for that money you get a larger screen, a higher 4K resolution, which actually does wonders to render those fine lines and text better. But most importantly, this 32-inch 4K Ultra Gear still has a lot of that gaming prowess. 4K 240Hz is plenty for most people, and if you want to get extra sweaty, there is a 1080p 480Hz mode as well. On top of all of this, LG offers a 5-year warranty to boot, which is really good peace of mind. But going back to my main point, if LG is already making this product and is offering this component to other manufacturers to include in their products. In fact, I think ASUS already offers one themselves. It honestly makes me wonder why Sony didn't go that route when it came to designing the M10s. Again, considering that it is their top dog flagship display, especially when it probably would have complemented other products in Sony's lineup, such as the PS5 and especially the upcoming PS5 Pro. Now again, I don't want to come across as too negative. The InZone M10s is undeniably an impressive piece of kit. A reminder of how far things have come with OLED technology. The image quality is stellar for 1440p gaming, and if you are a competitive player who demands the absolute best, especially when it comes to motion, this monitor does what it sets out to do quite well. However, for most people out there, even enthusiast gamers, it can be hard to justify the $1,100 price tag when there are more versatile options out there. It feels like Sony missed out on an opportunity to create a true flagship product that could appeal to a wider audience. But let me know what you think about the InZone M10s in the comments below. And otherwise, thanks for watching this video on Denki Channel.